we're very lucky today to have a number of our candidates. As Sean mentioned, we have Judge Mark Savage, who's up for re-election, and we have Al Drake, who's up for election to the county legislature. He's been doing a fabulous job in this interim appointment. Bert is going to be coming, who's running for county clerk. We also have Mr. Cummings here, who is running for town board, which I thought it was village board, and I've been mistaken, so it's town board. So thank you for coming out. Earlier we had Martha Millett, she was here. Who else is, did I miss anybody? You're up for village?
Yeah, village. This is
the Richard Drake.
Wonderful. Not my cousin Richard Drake, the other Richard Drake.
Right.
So we have a number of our local candidates here. And of course, I want to mention Pat Young, who organized this event. So thank you for all your work on this. But one of the great things is that we have our congressional candidate here, Bill Owens. I met Bill, well, I've talked to Bill on the phone a couple of times, and I got to hear him speak last week at another event. And, he talks about the things that we're all very concerned about. I know he'll talk to them here in a minute, but, he's very down to earth. He can, talk to, the array of people that were there the other night. I mean, he's spoken with all of us that are here. We aren't using the slogan "one of us," but really, he's lived the North Country experience for many, many years now. He's brought his experiences as a veteran in the service and all of his travels around in connection with that. He's a father, he's a husband, you're a son, and those are really the experiences that shape who you are and your values and what you feel you need to do when you get elected to public office and what you need to do to ensure that other families are well taken care of. So it's my very, very distinct pleasure, and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to introduce to you today Bill Owens, our next congressman.
Thanks. It's great to be here and be with a lot of other candidates who are running for office. That's always a pretty exhilarating thing for someone who is new to this business. Being involved with people who are trying to make positive change in their communities is really a very important aspect. It's clearly the reason why I'm running. I've lived in Plattsburgh for 32 years, was a lawyer during that entire period, came there stationed at Plattsburgh Air Force Base, and I'm doing this because I think I can make a difference in this environment. And I think that there's a real opportunity for people to become involved and to get things done for their communities. I've been to Alexandria Bay before, actually a number of times, and I'm very familiar with the bridge. I was involved with a customs house broker and freight forwarder who had an operation here moving primarily vehicles back and forth to Canada. So I've been out here, I've been doing this kind of work around the district really for a very long time. Some things I had actually forgotten. As you can imagine, over a period of 32 years, you don't always recall all of your experiences. When you go to a place, those things are recalled. What I'm primarily concerned with at this point is focusing on job creation. We've had a tremendously successful experience over in Plattsburgh and Clinton County. About 25 years ago, a group of us got together, and this is people who are really bipartisan. It is Democrats, Republicans, Independents, Conservatives, people who wanted to do something for their community. We began on our own to go to Canada, primarily Montreal, a little bit to Ottawa, to some extent out to Toronto there and Quebec City, and we focused on selling companies our community. Why do you want to come down here? Well, because we have great workers, we have access to 87, we can deliver your products throughout the United States, at least to the equivalent of all of Canada in about an 8 to a 10-hour truckload. That's something people don't realize. In Canada, if you want to get to those 30 million people, you've got to go coast to coast. If you come down into our region, you're an 8 to 10-hour ride to the equivalent number of people. It's a tremendous economic boost. The impact of the exchange rate, as you know, living in a border community, can be dramatic at times. That That interest rate movement, though, has two sides, and my guys will be a little worried I'm getting a little in the weeds here, but you know, when the dollar is close, it seems to stimulate retail activity. As the dollar slips, you get other kinds of activity that occur on the industrial and commercial level. Those are the kinds of things we need to take advantage of. We need to create good infrastructure, the bridges that we have, the St. Lawrence Seaway. We need to focus on I-98, because if you can move goods, you will create jobs. If you look at 87 and 81, one of the reasons that those communities do well is because you have great infrastructure. We need to devote federal dollars and state dollars to infrastructure programs because they produce jobs when they're being created, and they produce jobs as you go down the road because people can build factories and move goods from those destinations. We need to look at that. One of the things that I think is very critical is people need to recognize when you spend dollars in that way, people pay income taxes. People buy things and they pay sales taxes. People can buy homes and they can pay real property taxes. So you get a tremendous benefit from devoting your dollars and utilizing your dollars in that way. The other obvious area that people are very concerned with right now is healthcare. Clearly that's something we need to get resolved, I think, because we have a social obligation to make sure that we're covering everyone and providing health care. But in addition to that, it has tremendous economic impact. If we're in a situation where the cost is going up, particularly for small businesses, it reduces their ability to produce new jobs. We clearly have to focus on getting that resolved. I've been, for 27 years, the counsel for CBPH Medical Center in Plattsburgh, and I represent a couple of other hospitals. One of the things people do not understand is that if you're sick and you don't have health insurance, you go to the emergency room and you get treated, but you're much sicker and it costs you much more money to get it done. In the parlance that you're reading in the newspaper, that's what's referred to as uncompensated care. People need to focus on that because that's $100 billion a year. So if we got all of those people who are getting uncompensated care in our pool of covered people, we would have a significant source of revenue with which to pay the health insurance. Those are the critical areas that I think we need to focus on as we move forward, and what I'm going to focus on when I get to Congress. I am a veteran. I have a very good understanding of the needs for Fort Drum. We need to strengthen that. We need to make sure that it's maintained. I have some very strong support from veterans groups that are active in my campaign. They're out doing fundraising for me. They're going to be doing call time and phone banks. So this is really a concerted effort. One of the things I'm going to ask each of you to do is to, and I understand many of you are running in your own campaigns, so you'll have to get out a couple of words in this process. But I want you to touch 25 people and ask them to touch 25 more people to get votes for all of us on the ticket so that on November 3rd we'll have a very large celebration. Thank you very much.